Friendtech is the newest social finance app that has been sweeping the world of crypto this week and is already gaining traction with a more mainstream audience. In today's video, I'll go through why I think this narrative could have some legs, how to get set up on Friendtech, including where you can find an invite code, and then some strategies for making money on Friendtech, including hopefully qualifying for a Friendtech airdrop. Welcome back to Dynamo DeFi. My name is Patrick. Before I go any further, I want to remind you that any new crypto applications are extremely risky, so you should never invest more money than you can afford to lose. I'm not saying go pour all your money into Friendtech now. However, we like to try out new things on this channel, even if they are new and risky. Also, want to remind you to do your own research before putting any money into this. This isn't financial advice. This video is educational about what's going on with this app, why people are talking about it, and how you can get started. Now, let's get into it. First, what exactly is Friendtech? Friendtech is a social finance application that allows you to buy and invest in, quote, shares for content creators. You connect your Twitter account to it, and then it starts creating shares for you. And when you first create it, those shares are very cheap, 10 or 12 cents. And then as more people buy the shares, according to an equation, the price of shares goes up. So there's some people whose shares are extremely expensive, around $4,000, and other people whose shares are around 10 cents. And then once you buy a content creator share, you get access to a private chat with everyone else who's bought that content creator share. And then some people are already starting to get creative, build applications on top of this, and offer additional perks and benefits to their followers, such as, for example, a share of all of their income through Friendtech. And I personally think that this trend of Friendtech and investing in content creators sits at the intersection of a lot of trends that have been happening in society and in tech over the past couple of years, and ties them into a new form of value creation that you really need crypto to execute. So we talk a lot about what could bring mainstream adoption to crypto, what utility could crypto have, and I think that this could potentially be an example of it. And here's what I'm talking about. If you look at the past couple of years, then you have content creators like Mr. Beast have turned their individual brands into massive companies. Mr. Beast was offered $1 billion for his YouTube channel last year. At the same time, last year you had Chamath, the famous investor and Facebook executive, say that the first wave of social media saw value accrue to the platform layer, companies like Apple and Google. The second wave of social media saw value accrue to the application layer, that's Instagram, TikTok, etc. But then he predicted that the third wave of social media would see trillions of dollars of value accrue to content creators, but noted in this interview that content creators had not yet found a way to unlock that value. And so I think that social finance apps like Friendtech potentially offer an avenue to unlock that value. And I'm not predicting that Friendtech itself will necessarily be valued at trillions of dollars, don't construe that, but the point being that it will help content creators to unlock that value. And so you can imagine a future where if you're early to a content creator, if you've been following them since they were just starting, had 100 followers, and you're buying their shares to get access to their private chat, you would actually benefit from being early, right? This technology would allow you to benefit from being early when you find someone who's either a good musician, good at creating videos. When you see someone that you just know that they're going to blow up, then this allows you to actually put your money where your mouth is and both give them value by buying their shares and also receive value yourself because the price of those shares would go up over time. And the stats kind of speak for themselves. If you look at the stats on Friendtech, then they've been doing insane numbers for crypto. They have over 40,000 unique buyers of shares so far and just under 14,000 unique sellers. And this thing launched just over a week ago, about 9 days from when I'm making this video. And you can see that it's just growing faster and faster over here. And if you look at the number of transactions, right, it hit an all-time high today. Actually, it's hitting an all-time high today. So this is something that's definitely on an uptrend. And regardless of what you think about my original thesis, my mentality is when you see people using something, it always helps to pay attention because that's how you find new narratives. I want to share this other tweet that I saw that I think really encapsulates this nicely. Is RPC Mert said, "What would be interesting with Friendtech is if it were tied to newsletters, blogs, instead of gated chat. You could buy shares of writers, the writers get funding, the growth plus revenue numbers are visible, a stock market for writers in a way of valuing the written word. Pretty much you're giving public valuations to blogs, content channels, newsletters, etc., individual entrepreneurs and creators instead of large companies. Really think this could get pretty big with the right go-to-market, and most importantly, it's not a Ponzi." By the way, if you want to get in on narratives before they take off, like FriendTech has over the past couple days, then in my newsletter, I talk about the most interesting trends each week. And last Monday, I actually talked about FriendTech as a trend that I thought was really interesting and listed out 4 reasons why it was especially interesting to me. If you're interested in that, you can subscribe at dynamodefi.substack.com. All right, so that's the basic thesis on FriendTech. And if you want to try it out, here's how you can get started. The first thing that you'll need is an invite code, and the invite codes look like this. It's FT dash, then a bunch of letters and numbers. These are some that I posted yesterday. And the thing is, when someone who has a decent number of followers, I'm not huge, but I've got 50 some thousand, these went in like 2 minutes. But if you look at any time a big account posts, then look underneath, because people who are trying to use up all their codes, who maybe don't have the following to give them out, they're going to post their codes underneath. And the reason is why a lot of people are speculating that using up your codes helps qualify you for an airdrop. So anytime you see a post like this, check underneath in the comments. Another thing you can do is you can go to Twitter Advanced Search. To do that, you just search anything on Twitter, and then it'll bring you a page like this, and you can do the advanced search and search FT dash. And I would recommend doing the exact match, which is going to be 2 quotation marks on either side of FT dash. And you can see I just did that, and look at all these codes that came up. There's some other stuff that comes up too, but for the most part, I'm just finding tons of codes, and probably if you do this, you'll be able to find a recent code pretty quickly, right? This person just posted one 2 seconds ago. And so once you get that, then you are ready to install the application. As you can see here, you won't be able to use it on a browser, so you'll have to install it on your smartphone. And to do that, you actually cannot install this through an app store. What you do is you load up the website, and then you add it to your home screen. If you're on iPhone, which I am, so I'll use that as the demo, you click on the share options and then scroll down until you find the option to add to home screen, and then it will appear just like an app on your home screen, and it's going to look very similar to a regular application. You click on the application to log in. You'll be prompted to give an invite code, although I'm not showing that because I already supplied an invite code before I made this video. You'll have to first log in through either a phone number, Apple, or Google, and then you'll be prompted to connect your Twitter account. Then you'll be prompted to seed your wallet. And a couple things to note here. First, this wallet is on Base Chain. This is Coinbase's new layer 2. I heard of people sending funds to this on Ethereum mainnet. This is not on Ethereum mainnet, it's on Base. I have a separate video about how to bridge funds to Base that I'll link in the description, but make sure you don't send funds to this wallet on any chain but Base, because if you do, they'll be lost. Once you have funds, you'll be prompted to buy your own first share. It says, by the way, to deposit $20. You don't actually need $20. If you want to test it out with $5 or $10, you should be able to just fine. Obviously, it'll limit what you can do on the app, but you can set it up and look around just fine with $5 or $10. And then once you're in, there's a few basic functionalities. You can view the top shares right now, as well as other things such as the most traded. You can see that some of the top shares, they're 2 ETH or more at the moment, pretty expensive. You can search for specific users in the search bar to find them and buy their shares. Once you buy a few shares, you can go to the chat section, and then you'll see all of the chats for all of the shares that you purchased. These chats will include both the content creator whose shares you purchased, as well as all the other people who bought the shares. So if you and your friends buy each other's shares, then you can chat in there in the application, discuss strategies for FriendTech. This is what my chat looks like right now. There's a few dozen holders, and if you just look at it quickly, then what we're doing is we're discussing strategies to make money on FriendTech right now. That's really what my chat has turned into, but there's a lot of other interesting things creators are doing. Some are offering proprietary content in there. Some are offering other perks such as lotteries. People are still experimenting with ways to add value to their chats. To deposit and withdraw more ETH in the future, click on your portfolio balance in the top right to go to the settings, and then you'll have the options to deposit and withdraw, and from there simply follow the instructions. But what I think is probably going to attract a lot of people to the app, and is maybe attracting you, is that they have a tab as well that's called Airdrops. And every Friday for the next few months, they're distributing points in this Airdrop tab. And right now, the points don't have any use. However, the obvious speculation is that those points will translate into an airdrop at some point. You can see I got just over 600 this past week. And there's been a lot of discussion over how the points were determined. If you look at people who got insane numbers of points, 10, 20,000, there's definitely some tie into how many people are buying and trading your shares. However, my take is, as with all airdrops, the best way to earn one is just to use the application. Buy shares, sell shares, participate in the chats, use up all your invite codes, and you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to get some sort of points and airdrop. And that's your intro to friend tech. If you want more videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Dynamo DeFi.